I recently visited the US for 12 days, and we visited, my director Neeraj, and another independent counselor. We all visited the US for 12 to 15 days, and we visited lots and lots of colleges. We met lots of next genius scholars on campus. And as we did that, here are my 5 very interesting learnings about my trip, from my trip. Number one is that US is safe. When you read the news, when you look outside, and when you look at the general news of coming from the US, we get a lot of negative news about lots of uh, uh, challenges in terms of shootings happening, or the gun challenges, the challenges with the guns and robberies. But I traveled for 15 days. I was there. I drove around the country. A lot of places I drove by myself, and I spoke with lots of students, lots of families, Indian students, international students, and never once did anyone say that, they felt unsafe. It is safe. Of course, they have their own challenges, and even Americans and the colleges are working on that. The students, the campuses in the US are very, very safe, and it's like, they provide you with lots of. They have the campus safety officers, and they have a lot of safety features on campus, which generally keeps the campus safe for the students. Like, you cannot enter any dorm if you're an outsider. You must punch in your card, or you have access codes to uh, enter into a classroom. You have safety officers who are in the campus, at the campus throughout the day. So it's safe. The news which comes out there, it's not just election season in India. In the US also, there is elections going on this year. A lot of those news are a part of, you know uh, campaigns to about the US. So don't worry about safety. That's not one of the challenges that we face, and I believe many of our students who are already there, none of them complained about safety or anything like that. Number two, just go back once. Yeah, so that's my picture with a massive tractor. uh, Everything in the US is supersized, and when I say supersized, when you look at the map of US, it's almost twice or thrice of India. And everything, including the portion sizes, the meals that you get, to the machines that you get, to the tractors, even the size of the states, the different states of the US, they are massive. When you travel from one place to the other, most of the times you will need cars, or a lot of students have those electric scooters, the ones that you had, ones that you saw in the Koi Mil Gaya movie, where you could use it as a small scooters, and you can use your legs to pull it and move forward. Yeah. So everything is supersized and massive in the US. And What it means for you as students is that be prepared to have the larger portion size of food, or larger cars. Even the cars are huge over there. The third one is food. So a lot of students ask me, how what are the veg food options, and how can, do you really get veg food over there? So yes, vegetarian food is very, very easily accessible to everyone. It's not at all difficult. Everywhere you go, in the college cafeterias, in your meal plan, you will have multiple options. You'll have vegetarian food, you'll have vegan food, you'll have kosher, halal, whatever different kind of food you want. The meal plan and the cafeterias of the college canteens take care of all of that, because most of the students go to the top 100 colleges in the US, and all those colleges have international students coming to them, right? Now, since they have international students, they need to be prepared to serve and to support these international students. And that's why they make sure that you have access to nice food, food, if you talk about vegetarian food, a lot of Mexican foods, a lot of Italian food like pizza and pasta, uh, and a lot of times you also get veg Indian foods on campus. So you have all those options available to you when you uh, enroll at a college in the US. Number four is that human resource is extremely expensive. When you, it's not like India where you can keep where you can get help or house help, let's say, or lots of people there at a hotel serving stuff and all of that. Human resource is very, very expensive. Anything which requires a human is going to be expensive. Your Uber drive requires a driver, it's going to be expensive. uh, a lot of places, you need to do a lot of things by yourself. You need to wash your own clothes. You need to clean your own utensils. We went to a couple of hotels where you need to do self check-in, which is not a concept we see a lot of times in India. Self check-in is when you enter your own details, and the hotel, they give you a code to enter the room. So that's what self check-in is. So anything which requires human resource is going to be expensive. The food was not extremely expensive, but whichever thing required human resources was quite expensive there. And the fifth learning was that, driving is easier in the US. So I drove across the US and I drove it by myself. And I've driven in Mumbai and Delhi and a lot of places like that. But I can tell you that driving is very, very easier. You just need to be in the lane. People follow the rules. People follow the instructions which are there. The signs and the signages. Owning a car and renting a car is also very easier, and it's a lot of times it's much cheaper than taking a Uber from point A to point B. So that's what a lot of students would do. They would, uh, in the second year or in the third year of their college, a lot of them will buy a car of their own, and use that to travel from, travel within the campus or travel outside of campus. And a lot of students who are staying out of campus, they can use these, they can have use their own cars to travel. So those were my 5 learnings. Now, for all the educators who are on this webinar, I'm going to do an interesting session where I'll talk about the 5 fun and quirky things about being in the US and about being an international student in the uh, 5 things that counselors should know about when you send your students to the US. So this is a little more generic, but I have a more specific point specifically for the counselors. Next Friday evening, I'm going to present that in a small group. So I hope some of you will join that call, and we'll have a little fun Friday next Friday. Yeah.